up, guys? Today I am going to be reacting to Dead Meat's Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives Kill Count. Granted, it's the recount, but that's because I can't find the original. So, let's get to the reaction.
Welcome to the Kill Cast, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, released in 1986. After the negative reactions to A New Beginning, Paramount knew they needed to bring back Jason Voorhees. Frank Mancuso Jr., executive producer and series overseer, enlisted Tom McLaughlin to helm the project. He'd be the first person to write and direct a Friday the 13th film by himself. Jason Lives is often regarded as the best of the series, if not top two, alongside Joe Zito's The Final Chapter. It's the first Friday the 13th.
Alright, I'm gonna borrow a line from Mulan right here. Well, no I'm not. I was just making a joke. Alright. How the frick did she miss? Alright, so I'm gonna mute it because I don't like the sound it plays when I'm doing it really fast. See, I don't like that. Alright. How?
The Final Chapter. It's the first Friday the 13th to feel like a major motion picture. Fridays 1 through 5 look cheap, which is fine, don't get me wrong. It adds to the homegrown, rustic nature of the series. They exist for cool kills, that's all, and that's fine. But Tom McLaughlin came to make a capital M movie with an actual story, developed characters, and downright awesome action sequences. After binging the first 5 films back to back, McLaughlin knew the series was in dire need of change. With an okay from Mancuso, as long as he didn't make fun of Jason, McLaughlin wrote a script full of self-aware humor that sometimes breaks the fourth wall. Kevin Williamson later told McLaughlin that this movie influenced him while writing Scream. Wanting to honor the franchise's DNA, though, McLaughlin set the film at a summer camp for the first time since Part 2, Camp Forest Green, which is really just a renamed Camp Crystal Lake. In other words, Jason's OG hunting grounds. To further differentiate his installment, McLaughlin added actual kids. The last time we saw any campers was in Part 1's Cold Open, and those little tykes were fast asleep. These ones are naming kick-ass YouTube channels.
What do you think?
I know it doesn't frickin' matter, okay? But these ones is not correct. I know it doesn't matter. Just pointing it out. Alright, back to the action. Hold up. Hold up.
I think we're dead meat.
Our hero for this postmodern adventure is a familiar face, or a familiar name at least, since this is part 3 of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. John Shepard declined to return for the role, opting instead to pursue
New Tommy
faster. So Tommy was recast and is played by Tom Matthews, the actor many people think of when they picture the character. He's perfect for the tone Tom McLaughlin was going for. John Shepard was intense, but brooding and distant. Tom Matthews...
I'll be right back, okay?
Is animated and just the right amount of a smartass. It helps that he's got a kick-ass lady by his side too. My favorite final girl name to say, Megan. Megan. A good Friday the 13th movie and a return of Jason Voorhees are both reasons to celebrate, so why not break out the good wine? Bright Cellars is a monthly wine subscription service that I've been impressed with so far in every single way. First thing you do is take a quick quiz on them. In less than 30 seconds, their algorithm matches you with wines that'll suit your taste profile. Their 4-bottle box arrives with very intuitive, simple packaging that's totally recyclable, which is always important to me. And the wine itself? Well, I'm already halfway through my box. I love the Crypsis Syrah and especially the Folk and Fable Red Blend. Each personalized bottle comes with a card that tells you about the wine, including serving and pairing tips. It makes for a fun and informative drinking experience. Right now, Bright Cellars is offering Dead Meat fans 60% off their first 4-bottle box. That's only $38, including shipping for your first 4 bottles of personalized wine. Just follow the link in the video description to take their simple quiz and get started. Could Jason murder more people as a zombie than he could as a human being? There's only one way to know. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins on a dark and smoky night, establishing a kindred spirit with old gothic Universal monster flicks. Tommy Jarvis is deinstitutionalized and dramatically driving towards the Crystal Lake Cemetery. He's got a hockey mask and some business to tend to.
Jason belongs in hell. I'm gonna see he gets there.
He goes to the J-Man's grave with his friend Alan Hawes, played by Ron Palillo, aka Horshack from Welcome Back Kotter. Hawes don't want to be here, and he definitely don't want to welcome back Jason. Tommy doesn't either. He's here to make sure Jason's body is destroyed. He digs down into that grave and crowbars that coffin open to reveal the wormy, maggoty, near bastard skelly body of one Jason Voorhees.
I'm just gonna
it's gross. And I'll take it away. To ensure this decrepit crypt...
Yeah, fun fact, even though he only has it play him saying die 3 times, and only a few hits it on Jason with the machete from young Tommy, Tommy actually hit him 15 times and screamed die 4 of those times.
Keeper keeps its corpse inside the crypt. Tommy stabs at the cadaver with a metal fence pole. Haha, fuck you, Jason.
Yeah, fuck you, Jason.
Dude, right? Even the Sky's like, fuck you, Jason. Uh-oh, wait, I think the Sky done fucked up. The Sky doubles down on its mistake and brings the J-Man back to life. We are now in the era of zombie Jason, and that undead son of a Pamela is pissed. After getting a fresh rain shower, washing him free of worms and maggots, Jason scores his first undead kill by butchering Hawes like a sweat hog. Just punches his heart out of his back, which was kind of foreshadowed earlier. Hawes' body falls into the grave, and Tommy gets the heck out of Dodge, leaving Jason behind to put his face on. Jason Lives knew that the audience wanted the big man back, so Mr. Voorhees is front and center throughout this entire film. No longer is it hidden in the shadows like in parts 2 through 4. It's all Jason all the time, baby. You best believe it. He's even treated like a local legend in universe.
First you take this jack of spades, which is Jason. The object of the game is to find out which cabin Jason is in.
This movie is a total celebration of Jason. A celebration, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the freaking James Bond entrance he gets.
I am very
slashes straight into a title card and what will definitely be the most fun credits of the series. Oh, come on, really? As always, the credits give us a chance to appreciate Harry Manfredini's score. For Jason Lives, he leaned into the gothic tone, although I think he wound up with a sped-up version of the Shining theme. Maybe it's an intentional reference, like the Bond thing, which was done by title designer Dan Curry. Curry used a real machete to slash open a black garbage bag full of milk, then turn the white milk red in post-production to make it look like gushing blood. Tommy goes to the police station, where the trigger-happy town sheriff don't take no nonsense.
Will you listen, damn it? Don't piss me off, Junior, or I will repaint this office with your brains.
This is Sheriff Garris, named after horror director Mick Garris, who I interviewed on the Crypt TV series Meetup. As a horror fan, Tom McLaughlin filled this film with references. Jason's brought to life by lightning in a manner similar to Frankenstein's monster. The monster's actor Boris Karloff is used for the name of a general store.
Karloff's General something.
John Carpenter gets a nearby town named after him.
The best I can do is call the station in Carpenter and have them keep a lookout for you.
And a road is named after Friday the 13th's creator, Sean S. Cunningham.
You can at least have them drive out to Cunningham Road and look for him.
Megan.
Sheriff Garris knows who Tommy Jarvis is, and also knows that grabbing a cop's gun is a crime, brother. He likes
Is it actually? That is a great fucking question. One of you Google it for me, because I am way too freaking lazy for that shit.
siege up in his jail cell, though not without some sympathy.
I'm sorry about what
Also,
happened when your folks
obviously,
years ago, but
I
no one in
posted
Forest
it.
Green wants to be reminded of what that maniac did here. That's why we changed the name.
Sheriff Garris is aggressive, but he's not a one-note asshole. I like it. Tommy don't. Head counselors Darren and Elizabeth are on their way to Camp Forest Green, the renamed Camp Crystal Lake. Only one meta problem, though.
I'm changing. So before it was just kind of a whatever I felt like uploading. Now it's gonna be like sort of horror theme. My channel's gonna be sort of horror themed. That's why the name of it is now Horror King 2008, and why one of my friends made me the new intro and profile picture.
I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Darren's played by a 23-year-old Tony Goldwyn in the very first role of his successful career. We've seen him in the Belko Experiment, but dude also voiced Tarzan.
I will miss you, Jane.
Lisbeth, who's driving Experiment, but in the very first role of his successful career. We've seen him in the Belko Experiment, but dude also voiced Tarzan.
I will miss you, Gene.
Lisbeth, who's driving, which I find interesting, is played by Nancy McLaughlin, director Tom McLaughlin's then wife. Jason spears their car with the fence post that inadvertently brought him back to life, so Darren decides to play tough with a secret handgun. Scary guy or not, that hockey mask don't look bulletproof. But nor is Darren's stomach spear-proof, so Jason punctures him through the midsection and tosses him over his shoulder. See ya! Jason then stabs at Lisbeth through the windshield, scaring her out of her car. She tries to buy Jason off, but he maybe probably teleports and appears right behind her, ready to kill some more. He stabs her in the face and holds her head underwater until the air runs out. Her credit card floats away, but because they couldn't get permission to use American Express's name, McLaughlin turned it into an American Excess card as a visual joke. In the last few Friday the 13th recounts, you've heard all sorts of stories about dangerous and irresponsible set conditions. The production of Jason Lives was thankfully nothing like that. Drugs and drinking were replaced by board games and bowling. It was a familial atmosphere fostered by Tom McLaughlin and his wife Nancy, the set's so-called den mother who made sure everyone was always taken care of. It's perhaps ironic then that Nancy was the only one who experienced any danger. First, she was nearly killed when the real spear they used changed her.
And that's why they shouldn't have had her in the car. It's not frickin' rocket science, idiots.
Trajectory after hitting the glass windshield.
It missed me by a speck. I mean, they could only do it once. It was really scary.
Then, when she had to submerge her head underwater, the diving regulator they used got clogged up with mud.
So the mud's pumping down my throat.
With producer Don Barron's breathing down their necks to get the movie done quickly, she ended up having to just hold her breath for the shot.
We were fortunate that nothing ever bad happened through the entire, shoot. No one got hurt. No one, was traumatized by anything.
The next morning, the other counselors from Camp Forest Green tell Sheriff Garris that Darren and Lisbeth are MIA. Tommy butts in and says Jason probably got him, catching the horned-up attention of the sheriff's daughter, Megan.
He's kind of cute.
Or, don't beat him up at all. Megan's played by a 21-year-old Jennifer Cook, who by this point had already starred in the sci-fi show V. She and her friends head back to camp, where she suggests that maybe Tommy's right. Perhaps Jason is real, not just a legend like their parents say.
What if he did come back here? Looking for the camp counselor that caused him to drown as a boy. Searching for the one that decapitated his vengeful mother.
Bruh, he already killed her in the beginning of part 2. You moron.
Again, the Friday timeline doesn't make a lot of sense. This movie takes place a year after A New Beginning, I think, meaning 5 or 6 years after the events of parts 2 through 4. That's not enough time for these kids to forget that Jason was actually real, or that Forest Green used to be called Crystal Lake.
Unless they didn't know it existed.
Whatever, no time to deal with that nonsense now, because a bus full of bedwetters just opened its door and spilled them into the laps of these camp counselors.
I think I'd rather deal with old Jason.
Inventive or not, a Friday film needs a scene with randos getting killed. And our first group of randos in Jason Lives are people paintballing as part of a corporate teamwork outing. Really fun characters here, played by actors Tom McLaughlin met in a mime class. That explains why one of them, Roy, is basically a real-life cartoon character, just add sound effects. There's also a pair of dudes named Stan and Larry, who, much like those Part 5 greasers, I think are secret boyfriends.
You become this whole other person when we're out here, Stan. I don't like it.
Stan's played by Matthew Faison, who would later be a deranged teacher in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. The last dude here is a hilariously over-the-top misogynist named Bert.
She should have stayed in the kitchen where she
He's pissed because he got shot and eliminated by co-worker Katie, who also paintballs Stan and Larry. Honestly, Jason Lives is low-key feminist, and high-key self-aware with those headbands that say dead on them. The first one to really die is the testy testosteronator Bert. While hacking trees angrily with a machete, Jason grabs his arm. He hurtles his face into a tree, leaving a smiley face behind. Or maybe just leaving blood on a smiley face that was already there. It's corny either way, okay? But hey, at least Jason's got a machete now. And a third arm.
Yo, guys, imagine if Jason actually had 3 arms. Everyone in the movies would be screwed.
No, no! Three-arm Jason! Just kidding. Jason only needs one arm to score a triple decapitation with a single machete swipe. Originally, this kill was a bit more graphic.
Someone asks me who my favorite character is in Halloween and in Friday the 13th. Me. For Halloween, it's Michael. For Friday the 13th, it's Jason. The person who asked me, no, you're not supposed to like them, they're the killers. Me. Then why did the people who made the series I don't know the plural of series, make those two so ridiculously badass?
Thanks to effects artist Jim Gill. He created a mechanism that would buckle the knees of 3 headless dummies on cue. But this and many other kills were cut down because of the MPAA, who continued to come after the Friday series hard.
Anytime you're doing a Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, they walk into a preconceived notion.
Big disappointment for all the talented makeup artists, including Brian Wade, who designed Zombie Jason's appearance in the beginning, and one of my favorite underappreciated makeup artists, Gabe Bartalos, who later designed that little shit Leppy boy. This paintball scene was the first thing filmed during production, with Jason played by stunt performer Dan Bradley. After only 2 days of shooting, McLaughlin was told by the studio to replace him, apparently because Bradley looked too big in the footage. I find that hilarious in retrospect, since nowadays, y'all commenters can't stop talking about his cake. McLaughlin hired CJ Graham as a replacement, who's Jason in every other scene of the film. As for Dan Bradley, he ended up being a prolific stunt coordinator. His work on the first 3 Bourne films probably would have earned him an Oscar if the Academy had, any respect for stunts. Sheriff Garris and his deputy try to escort Tommy out of town, but the Teamsmeister turns off into the cemetery and kicks off a police chase through the grounds. I love the way this is shot, especially the really long take with a really long lens. Jason Lives was filmed over 6 weeks in early 1986 around Covington, Georgia, a small town 35 miles from Atlanta. To keep production under the radar, it was filmed under a code name.
Frank was a huge fan of David Bowie, so the actual title of the movie at that time that we were hiding under was Aladdin Sane, which added again to the sort of the mystery of people trying to find out where it was and what was the title.
That's why you can see the Aladdin Sane album in a cabin. Production mostly stayed at Camp Daniel Morgan, where they filmed Camp Forest Green, or hung out at the local Waffle House, the most exciting place around. They got permission to shoot this scene at the Old Madison Cemetery, as long as they stayed away from the graves, which is why Tommy sticks to the place's paths. For the more action-oriented cemetery scenes, they used movie magic. The entrance the cars drive through was a fake one built by production, and the opening scene with Jason's resurrection was filmed on a set made from scratch on an empty field by production designer Joseph T. Garrity. Tommy wants to show Sheriff Garris that he dug up Jason Voorhees, but the grave is nice and tidy now, thanks to Martin the Gravedigger. Martin, this film's harbinger of doom, was shown earlier directly criticizing the audience for loving horror movies.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
He continues his near self-awareness with an editing joke here.
Dig him up. Does he think I'm a farthead?
And concludes his hat trick of winking to the audience when he foreshadows his own death that night.
Darling, you're gonna be the death of me.
Jason catches his pint bottle and makes it the death of him by breaking it and using it to stab Martin in the throat. Jason's double tapping is stumbled upon by another rando named Steven. He was here proposing to his gal Annette, but now Jason has another proposition for them. Death. He kills them by stabbing them together with his machete. The sequence with these 3 kills was filmed during 2 days of reshoots in Griffith Park. It was ordered by Frank Mancuso to increase the movie's body count, and while it messes up the pacing a bit, at least it gives us the scary shot of when Jason notices Steven watching him. Back at Camp Forest Green, the campers are fast asleep, some with half-written letters to home, others with half-read French existential plays. Everything is so chill, one of the counselors sneaks away in a Winnebago. It's the male counselor, Court, pumping away in a PG-13 style sex scene, since this is the only Friday film without any nudity. He's having girl-on-top sex with Nikki, played by Darcy DeMoss, who, remember, was gonna be Tina in part 5 before she turned down the scummy director asking her out on a date.
The next day I didn't have a part. And the excuse was that I wasn't well enough endowed.
DeMoss was brought back, thankfully, by casting directors Fern Champion and Pamela Basker, low-key MVPs of the franchise since they casted parts 4, 5, and 6, meaning they gave us Crispin Glover, Corey Feldman, and all the delightful character actors in A New Beginning. Prior to this, Darcy DeMoss had appeared in several of Ron Harris's Aerobicize videos, but I don't think she was in the one Coroner Axel watched in the final chapter. Anyway, if the RV is a rockin', you know Jason's gonna come a knockin', and he winds up aboard before they start driving back to camp. Court hauls ass and blasts Teenage Frankenstein, one of 3 Alice Cooper songs featured in this movie. Another is He's Back, the man behind the mask, the closest thing Jason ever had to a theme song. J-Man's all over the music video for it, which was directed by the final chapter's director, Joseph Zito. The loud music keeps Court oblivious when Jason grabs Nikki and abducts her into the bathroom. He kills her by shoving her face through the wall. But hey, now we can make giant Nikki face cookies. Jason kills Court quickly thereafter by stabbing him in the head with a knife. The driver's death causes a magnificent accident and flips the RV onto its side. This was the last thing filmed for the movie, since Jason actor CJ Graham had to pop out and stand atop.
Alright, this was part 1. Alright. Part 1. Part 2 will be out later when I am not absolutely freaking tired.